Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to have you here with us. Sorry about the rain.
No worries.
I mean, in this day and age, to be able to come up with a completely original horror concept that's instantly iconic is no mean feat. How did you feel about the response to your first film? And how did you come up with where you were going to take it for this next one?
The response was surreal. I mean, it's been a dream come true. You know, I never in a million years expected that audiences would embrace and connect with it so much. So it's been incredible. And you know, when it came to approaching a sequel, I wanted to make sure that if I was going to ask for audiences to give me their time again, that I was really going to make it worthwhile for them and do something fresh and new and exciting.
And how did you come up with this character of Skye as well? And I think she seems like the perfect vehicle in a way, because you can really make manifest all these pressures you might feel, you know, when you become famous too young, but also people in the modern age, you know, with the pressures of social media, etc. And they really come sort of alive in front of her eyes.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I wanted to do something that was set it in a world that is so far from where we were in the original one. Felt like a really interesting challenge to me. And yeah, with a public-facing figure, it really opened up so many new opportunities. Somebody who, you know, needs to be sort of on and performing constantly, sort of, you know, greeting the world with a smile, if you will. But behind the scenes is quite a different person than who she sort of lets onto the world. It felt like a really right, powerful place to start.
And Naomi Scott, I mean, she's very far from her Disney princess in this movie. Obviously, on paper, she had all the right credentials, but how did you kind of bring her on board, build this character, and get her to go to some really dark places?
Yeah, I mean, Naomi is an absolute force of nature. She's so just like incredibly talented. She's like a quintuple threat. Yeah, I mean, she has this incredible X factor, this gravitas to her that just immediately I would buy her as like a mega pop star. But then she's capable of going to such raw human places as she's hitting rock bottom, and to me that dichotomy was so interesting. But like, I loved this idea of taking a Disney princess and putting her into this film, which is quite different than what people might be expecting.
And of course, in terms of the horror elements, it's no holds barred when it comes to the gore, but probably for me, it's the jump scares and the really psychological elements, and, you know, how creative you get, like that scene in her flat with the dancers. Super creepy. How did you come up with this? Did you have a favorite one that you created?
I think they're all my favorites. They're all my children, but you know, I think I just always, you know, I'm the first audience member for my own films when I'm writing, and I think about, you know, what would be really unexpected and frightening to me, and that's where I start, and I hope that audiences feel the same way.
Have you watched it with lots of audiences yet? Are people like losing their minds?
I have not had the chance. Tonight's gonna be the first time we show it to an audience, so I'm really excited.
And in terms of the takeaways, what is it that we come back to with horror? Because it is so tense, but I think there's something about, you know, we can reflect on things like, you know, what is the impact of being on social media all the time? What is that dissonance that we can have with the outside persona that we have, and how we might feel at home? And you can kind of reflect on those issues as well as just go along for the ride.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think that we are at sort of the peak parasocial relationship with celebrity, especially in the world of pop. And, you know, I was just fascinated by, you know, these women who are expected to always be on, always be performing, and wondering what's going on the inside, like what's going on inside of their heads. And you know, I wanted to do a really extreme example, but, you know, for me, I wanted Skye to be relatable to everybody. It's the fact that she's a public figure that then exacerbates all of her problems times a million. But really, the human being, I want to be relatable to the audience.
And finally, Smile 3?
We'll have to see. Absolutely, I love this city. I wish I was here for longer than I am, but no, it's been great. It's doing really well. You know, I really wanted to challenge myself to do something unexpected with this film, not just retread the original, but like offer a new experience. And this film, it has Smile DNA running through its veins, but it also has its own identity. And you know, it's got brand new tricks up its sleeves, new ways to scare and horrify the audience. Nothing short of a dream. I think Naomi is one of the most talented human beings I've ever met, and it was an incredible partnership. It really felt like partners in crime almost, really, you know, developing this. It was such a constant dialogue of building this character together, and I'm so proud of the performance she delivered, and I can't wait for audiences to experience it. It's a long way from her Disney days. Well, luckily, Naomi is so talented that, you know, she really just embodied the character, and it was really about just fine-tuning and honing and curating the performance. But I have to give give so much credit to her of what she puts off. I love horror. It's my first love. I love genre films. I think I can't help but every time I sit down to write, something creepy, scary, anxiety fuel works its way into it. It's sort of, I think I'm stuck in my ways. You know, I always think about like that scene from American Werewolf in London where we finally actually see the beast down in the tube, and like, you know, that was such a creepy, when it's abandoned at night, such a creepy location. It's always stuck in my brain. I think it'd be really interesting to set something down there. Oh wow, you know, I'd say certainly the way that we really dive into the character and put the audience into the character's shoes for this really insane ride that is just going to make them so anxious, so stressed out. And you know, we've set it in a world that I think is quite unexpected for a horror film. That was one of the things that got me the most excited about it, was that we're in this sort of shiny, you know, glitzy, you know, glammy world of pop music, which I think is in really stark dissonance for the very dark, stressful, frightening themes going on. So many, you know, definitely the opening scene is a banger for sure. And the, you know, one of my favorite scenes involves Naomi's character Skye and another character in a car that is quite intense and definitely not what you would be expecting. Oh well, I think there's nothing like, you know, the big sound, the big image, but really, you know, being in the dark with hundreds of other people, that communal experience of everybody screaming and laughing and shrieking and gasping and going quiet all at the same time. I just think it's the best way to see the movie, and I you know, I love it. Insane, brutal, and nasty. I think how off the rails it goes. It is it's very shocking. It does not pull any punches. It is going to horrify people. Oh, it's so different. Really, I mean, it's all about the character. Now, this film, you know, it has smile running through its DNA. It has connective tissue to the original, but it also very much has its own identity, its own metabolism, if you will, and it's trying to do some brand new things. It has new tricks up its sleeves.